tindum líður á þennan dýrðardag Drottinn stýri vindum.
This is one of our greatest treasures that we have in Iceland and a source we always go into. Every Icelandic musician should go into this book to get inspiration. We have been isolated and I don't think isolation is a very good thing for anybody. I think music is, in its nature, it's a lot about communication. It's about communication between people and peoples. I find the young generation very creative. It knows about the rules and it knows how to break them. In spite of the crisis in the political and financial area, I'm very optimistic about the culture.
Örn est historien, un peu. Örn est un sage, beaucoup, alors on l'écoute quand il parle. Cette eau épanouie, ce ciel épanoui, ce paysage épanoui, c'est l'Islande. Les sorties de la glace et du feu, du volcan qui fout en l'air le trafic aérien et des gentils trolls aux grandes oreilles. En Islande, il y a des trucs qui le font cogiter, Örn. Et nous aussi. C'est qu'ici, tout le monde semble faire de la musique. Ah oui, c'est quand même curieux. Des musiciens partout, partout. On pourrait les rencontrer, vivre avec eux, s'imprégner sans faire les malins bien sûr. On irait juste rencontrer des gens qui font de la musique.
Alltaf vil ég heima á leið, hugleiða á tindi, það hrindir aldrei meir, eykur vorsins vindi.
Kiddi, c'est lui, le barbu. C'est un peu le taulier du coin, le gars que tout le monde connaît. Kiddi ne veut pas travailler, si ce n'est dans la musique. Alors il a choisi de jouer dans plusieurs groupes et de ne pas travailler. Le premier studio d'enregistrement privé d'Islande, c'est lui qui le gère. Et cette tôle, c'est un peu l'Abbey Road du pays, son Sun Studio, un lieu mythique où on convergeait et converge tout ce que l'île compte d'artistes. Y a pas à dire, Kiddi, c'est vraiment le taulier.
My name is Kiddi and I'm a musician and sound engineer here in Iceland. And my band is the reggae band Hjálmar. I work in the studio and we have like a mafia of people around this. We work all kinds of projects, like we work with guys we like. I'm not doing a project that I don't like. I see. This is Siggi, keyboard and singer. And Steini there, he's playing guitar and sings. Þetta Valdi Kolli, bass player, and Helgi is getting ready to record percussion, and he plays the drums. We are Hjálmar, like this is the basic Hjálmar. We already recorded the drums, bass, and like the basics. Now we are starting the overdub, so just try to finish the song.
Þetta fínt maður, þetta anskoðast nóg gott fyrir þetta lag. Já, okay.
En oft það snúið og snærið þvalt og nú það búið svo blessaða kalt.
Hjálmar means helmets. You know, when you ride a motorcycle you need to have a helmet. And it's like a lot of helmets.
We started out in 2004 as a band.
Yeah. We started recording actually late 2003.
And we were just playing around, recording some songs, and then we decided, hey, let's make an album. Yeah, let's do that. And we released it. And the rest is history.
If you do something good, you can get it out, you know, in no time. So maybe that's one of the reasons why there are so many bands from Iceland, you know.
Judging from all the people that kind of stop us in the street and say, Hjálmar! Hjálmar! Then I would say, at least Steini is kind of famous. You know. Now you're supposed to say that I am.
You are famous. Yeah. I'm not famous. Nobody knows me.
It's just like things happen so fast, you know. You call someone and you say, I want to do an album. Can you meet me tonight? And they're like, yeah. And you go to the studio, record. The day after, you might have the first song in the radio. You know, it's just like...
Það tíðkast í borg og í sveit og ef það skoðað vel að gætt þá vildi ég gjarnan með þér getað snætt.
Kiddi diffuse sa musique comme on va chercher son gosse à la crèche ou poster une lettre. Il enregistre un morceau dans la nuit, le grave sur CD et l'amène le matin même à la radio, tranquille. La radio, c'est encore le chemin le plus sûr pour toucher le public. Et Kiddi, il y passe quand il veut le gars. Il a les clés, il y a bossé jeune. Kiddi, c'est le taulier. Il n'y a pas à tortiller.
Nýtt stöf fattar maður.
Já, en ég held bara að þú hafir ákveðið mikið budget út á markaðum, ákveðið margar áherslur.
Kiddi is one of the most important people in the Icelandic music business for the last 10 years at least. He has had a lot of influence on a lot of people and he is an amazing dude.
This song is pretty long and pretty weird. I don't think it's a radio hit, but it doesn't really matter. I don't know, you never know.
If it's a good song, it's never too long. My favorite Neil Young song is 14 minutes. I've seen him play it for 25 minutes, it's never too long.
Þið farið ykkur áttur með það. When we release a CD, I put a CD in every studio and then I come back later because I have pretty easy access to the radio stations. And I check out if the CD is there or not, if it's been stolen or something. I just put a new one. We are the first Icelandic reggae band and I think it's just now, like 5 years ago, some other bands are starting to reggae. The Hjálmar lyrics are more about the atmosphere in Iceland, you know. I think it's pretty weird reggae. We don't fit into some kind of reggae festivals and we don't really fit into some pop festivals or underground festivals. We are some kind of in the middle of whole reggae world music somehow. I don't know.
Nú vantar bara Valdimar, hann byrjar 4 mínútur.
Mínus með 10 mínútur. Þetta er heitur.
Takk fyrir. Ég tek hljóðlega af stað og ég bið. Já, ég bið. Gefðu þeim frið, fyrirgefðu.
My name is Ari and live in Reykjavik. I've studied the bass since I was 13, if that counts, on my own. Apart from that, I haven't gone to school a lot. We are at CCP Games, where I work. CCP is a games company that makes a massive multiplayer online game called E-Online. I pretty much ignored jobs for about 10 years before I got this job, and I finally needed one. I work in internal affairs for CCP. I monitor access to our server by employees, both player access and developer access. It's the best job I've ever had. If you need to work somewhere, you might as well work here. And I mean, it keeps us in food and like lets me make music when I want to. So in that way, there's a connection. We also have a house band here.
Sindri getur bara fyrst með þessu svona, þessu drasli.
Já, það segir það.
Master password og það svona.
Já, það segir það.
Þessu er bara nöðslegt.
Já. Svo erum við búin að vera að skjóta hérna ESP alveg hægri vinstri, ég veit ekki. There's lots of musicians all over CCP. You got Einar, he's a lead game master. And he plays guitar, has done for years. Matti Thorstens is over there. He used to be in The Way Down as well. It's just always been like a general company philosophy to, you know, hire artists and all kinds of people, not just people with degrees or what have you. And it's worked out pretty well, I think.
Ari fait tout à pied. Oui, c'est le côté pratique d'habiter à Reykjavik. Il n'a pas de voiture, donc il marche toute la journée. Dans ce bâtiment, il y a sa salle de répétition. Et des salles comme celle-ci, il n'y en a pas beaucoup en Islande. Alors la plupart des artistes, finalement, répètent dans leur garage. Mais Ari, lui, n'a pas de voiture, il répète pas non plus dans son garage. Bref, Ari est ici comme chez lui.
We're at my rehearsal studio. It's owned and run by this guy. He's Danny Pollock. He's a guitar player from tons of bands from the 80s.
You guys gonna play?
Yeah, we have to play.
We have to play.
We're playing next Friday. So.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
With Einar. Yeah.
Okay.
We're old mates. Been in like lots of bands, but this is like my band. The Way Down. I was sick of being in bands that never do anything, and yeah. So I was like pissed and like thinking about it a lot. One of our songs had a line goes like that has the phrase "the way down" in it, and I was thinking about it one day, and I realized that people used to say, you know, it's way out if it's like far out, and you can also say that you're down with it if you're like into something or onto something. So the way down pretty much means, you know, they're really cool, you know, if you wanted to. But it can also mean something really depressing. So I liked it as a name, so it stuck. We're like an old-fashioned band, maybe, because we're old. It's everyone is so career-oriented now. It's like all about making it, you know. And I mean, I can understand that, but it's still a really boring approach to music, you know. But that's just how it is. We're more focused on making records now than playing live, anyway. So.
Ari revient de loin, il a survécu aux années 80 où l'Islande était inféodée à Duran Duran et Wham, où le monde arborait sans pudeur des brushings aujourd'hui interdits par la loi, où les punks étaient les moutons noirs d'un pays alors en pleine santé économique. Pourtant, dans la Thunderbird de Danny, il faut toujours avoir un ami qui a une voiture quand on n'en a pas, c'est la flamme des années 80 que l'on ravive, ces années 80 où ils ont pris la scène punk locale d'assaut et par derrière, parce que plus de 20 ans plus tard, les synthés Casio n'ont toujours pas droit de parole. On peut vous le dire.
My favorite tape, Dolly Parton. Yeah. Here You Come Again. She's awesome. I always say that to my girlfriend. The first gig with the Outsiders was in April 1980.
Was it? Okay. You guys played a lot. I mean, was it hard to find gigs?
No. We had already opened the door for that, you know, the Göteborg mainly.
Yeah.
And also at the college. There were some great gigs there.
Yeah, I saw one brother in 82.
Right.
I was 12. My brother was a guitar player in the Super Tube, so I saw all that happening quite firsthand. But they had been, I mean, most of them working towards that point for a long time. They were a rock band, you know, they weren't really affiliated with any current bands. They all came from like punk and experimental bands, and they only started playing pop music, I think, because as a joke. You know. Yeah, like us in the Super Tube. So I think it was pretty old-fashioned music, taking influence from, you know, 70s music more than 80s music.
They made the world up all around you and left it on. And when you're asleep, there's around you, I hear them come. The fact that you have to hold on to is the very wrong. Waiting for you to get home. Waiting for you to get home. Waiting for you.
My name is Guðlaug Gunnarsdóttir. My friends and also people who can't pronounce my name correctly, like foreigners, they call me Gulla. I'm an artist and I live in Reykjavík with my boyfriend and our son. This one I exposed in Paris in 2008. I had a solo show in Paris then in September. The same month, Iceland went bankrupt. You realized how serious it is or so, but I mean still the only thing, you can't do anything, so the best thing is just to relax and have a cup of coffee and wait for it to pass by, this storm or whatever. Just look at other things in life that are important. In my work also, I mean, I talk about nature and the beauty and which is above all this crap, you know? You could say I'm into a sort of romanticism. Somebody once said neo-romanticism. I don't really know what it means, but it sounds really good. You have to take your time because painting is like a medium that takes time. And I also never put this pressure on myself to make a good painting because that can also just produce bad work. It's a bit like making music also. When I make music, you know, I'm there, I sort of sense my surroundings and I sort of knit around what the others are doing and so, and improvising and so. And when I'm painting, I'm just trying to make the most sincere song ever, every time.
Une histoire islandaise. Gulla, musicienne et peintre, était la voisine du bassiste de Sigur Rós, Jorge. Jorge a déménagé dans une maison, un gars a emménagé dans son appart, ce gars est devenu le petit ami de Gulla, Gulla qui fait de la musique donc, mais qui peint aussi. Et là, elle va donner sa toile à Jorge qui n'est donc plus son voisin. C'est pas fou comme histoire, mais c'est implacable. Je te connais, tu me connais, on se connaît, musique, peinture, le même langage, normal en Islande.
We can try to do it now or to see later or no? Yeah?
Try.
Okay.
See if it works. This hall was empty and we were always thinking we wanted to have something there, and then when Gulla offered to lend us this painting, it was perfect. It has kind of like a special meaning, I guess, for us as well.
And it's a good spot. It's a lot of light with windows and...
I think it would be a very big inspiration seeing it every day. I think it's very Icelandic, the painting as well. So
I guess it just looks Icelandic by default because...
Yes, because you're Icelandic.
Because I'm Icelandic, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. If I get asked in interviews if Iceland inspires our music or something like that, it's, you know, I always say, obviously I'm from Iceland, so
yeah, exactly.
How can it not?
It's important for me to keep the trace of the paintings, like where they've gone and so, and where they are. And
it's just like with music, you know.
Yeah, it's like...
You don't want it to be in an advert for some company that you don't like, for example.
Yeah.
You want to have control of where it goes. So.
Many roads have been sort of moved around rocks that there are believed to be elves and so, and like this is still a common belief for a folk belief. I'm born in a farm and there's nature all around, and so it's quite natural for me to observe, to record nature. The film reacts directly with the light. It's like a print of reality, you know. That's also something you could say is relevant to either improvising a bit with music or painting. It's that has its own life in a way. Like you don't know exactly how the photo is gonna be in the end, so that's also interesting. I want to be able to control things and so I often have accidents happening, and creative accidents are good, I think.
Gulla vous le dira, avant la crise économique, l'Islandais, il était un peu pantouflard, tranquillement lové dans son petit confort. Mais la crise n'a pas fait que surendetter les ménages, elle a réveillé les consciences et boosté les pratiques artistiques. Les projets immobiliers sont en friche, des bâtiments entiers sont inoccupés, une aubaine pour les artistes qui se sont réappropriés ces lieux pour y dresser galeries, ateliers et expos. Qu'on se le dise, en 2011, fini les pantoufles.
Well, this whole exhibition is sort of criticism on all this thing flooding over our country since 3 years now. I guess it's needed, this exhibition today.
Ég þykist eitthvað vera að tala við þig.
Ég ætla bara að
sína á ég bara rétt að kalla mig.
Já. Takk. Ok, takk.
This work is called Kottu, and it's like a central piece of the exhibition. It's right in the center of a promotional video called Inspired by Iceland. Kottu, which means come along. It has a soft and cuddly sound to it. So basically it's addressing the foreigners, come.
The name of Iceland is sort of this pure, a bit naive, innocent sort of culture had been like screwed by this crisis. Before, when we had this sort of elite with all the money directing how our society was and what was cool and what was not cool, it wasn't cool feeling sorry for the old people or the weak who couldn't defend themselves or protecting the nature. They were only like artists who drink cafe latte in the center of Reykjavík and don't know anything about life. Now it's more common that people have more critical views on things. Well, it's nobody famous. It says here the curator of the coming show, moments after he heard about the bankruptcy of art.
Le truc qui brûle là, pendant sa construction, c'est l'ARPA, une salle de concert polyvalente qui coûte un bras aux contribuables et le vrai symbole de la culture institutionnelle islandaise. Ce soir, c'est l'inauguration et Kiddi a instigé un spectacle cosmopolite pour enfants. Le professeur de Disco Island va leur apprendre à être heureux sans contrefaçon. Un concert prestige, un grand raout bariolé qui réunit la crème de la crème. Alors c'est sûr qu'ici, on est loin du reggae. La musique s'adresse à tout le monde, les enfants, les mamans, les mamies et les banquiers.
It's Memphis Mafia. It's like a group of my gang doing a children's album. It's Hjalmar and Bakkalútur and just all the group. Sigtryggur from Sugar Cubes is here and Ragga Gröndal singer and Sigrid Tollesir from Hjaltalín, Eyþór from Messaforte, Óttar Proppe from Dr. Spock. This is some kind of like a super Icelandic group, which is pretty funny. Páll Óskar is going to sing that song. He is here for the first time. He has sold out 5 gigs here next month or something.
He's like a superstar, you know, and for the kids, they go crazy, they go nuts when they see him. This is, of course, disco music, which is sort of like, yeah, I mean, it's very easy for kids to sort of relate to it, and it's easy to dance with it, and they know the lyrics, and it's really easy to catch.
Of course, they learn something from it, and we've been trying to do everything we do. We try to do really well, you know, whether it's being for children or somebody else or old people or whatever, you know, it doesn't matter. You know, you just always do well. You know.
The light on these The lyrics go like the bird phoenix that rises from the ashes. I come from the depths. Not everybody can be gorgeous. Not everybody can be fabulous like me. Not everybody can actually have, you know, the big hits that I have.
Líkt og fuglinn fönix rís, fögur lítil diskódís upp úr djúpinu gegnum diskó.
When the public actually realized that it was produced by Kiddi, then they realized, oh, it's Bakkalútur. Okay, it's self-parody, and then they actually gave in. It could have been the end of my career or the biggest hit I've ever experienced. It was on the top on the Icelandic charts for 12 weeks. That's why they called us to do this here at Harpan, for the snobbish people, for the bankers, and then we pay for this gig.
des fastes et des paillettes de Pál-Óskar, Gulla répète avec des camarades. Ici, la musique est sans prétention, la musique est humble, à jouer humblement dans un lieu humble, dans son garage. Lui devant vient de la musique classique, l'autre au fond vient des arts numériques, elle vient d'avoir un enfant, bref, musiciens interconnectés, horizons divers, une ritournelle bien connue. L'arpa, garage, finalement c'est presque pareil.
Now we are called Mikligarður. We're in a garage and we're folk. We're garage folk.
Í víti.
Það var að klemma sem Þið eru ekki með eitthvað vatn eða eitthvað?
Mikligarður is two things. It's a name the Vikings used for Istanbul, and they traveled to Istanbul. And then it was a supermarket.
Yeah, it was the first kind of big supermarket in Iceland in the early 80s, and we want to have all kinds of music, frozen music and fresh music, and music in tin cans and stuff like that. So that's why we chose the name. It's a good thing it went bankrupt 2 years after it opened. That's also because it's a good thing. We like things to go bankrupt in this country.
Quand Gulla ne peint pas, ne répète pas ou ne joue pas sa musique, elle fait un truc complètement différent. Elle va se changer les idées, s'aérer l'esprit, en rendant visite à des copains et des copines qui font de la musique. Son amie Scylla investit ce lieu pour en faire un méga lieu de colocation d'artistes. Elles ont joué ensemble dans Kira Kira et Scylla a créé un side project de Moom, Mr. Scylla. Oui, tout le monde a plus ou moins joué ensemble, au moins une fois. Partage, entraide, système D, l'Islande, c'est le royaume de la débrouille.
In our room, it's the Mr. Scylla band and Kimono and Hudson Wayne. In the room next to us, we have Gimaldin and Satan and Bacon. And then in the third room, there's a band called Isla, and then Jan Mayen.
Ooh, yeah, I was looking at that.
So this kind of just works like this. You see it. It's just a thingamajig right here. Don't know what the name of this one is. It's basically just like a music box, but wooden and big. We have used it in recordings with Moom, I think some, and then collaboration with Kira Kira. I know they used it in the Plinky Plonky Symphony some years back. Yeah, it's like I said, it's not a very well-paying thing to be a musician in Iceland. So most of us have to have other jobs as well. Some are very lucky to be able to work only on their music, but it's not a lot of people. I work at a fashion store, Mundi.
I found like a positive side to this, having another job that doesn't have anything to do with what you do actually.
Mm-hmm.
It's like then you get what you need for the bills and everything, and you don't have to do anything with your work to get. It's kind of a freedom in a way.
I see what you mean, yeah. Makes sense.
Because people always say there are so many bands that come from Iceland. How is it possible? It's such a small place. And it's simple. We just multitask. Make many bands with different formations of the same people, and then you have better chance at scoring.
Alors imaginez, vous êtes petit, loin de tout, personne ne parle votre langue et votre crise, tout le monde s'en fout. Comment vous faites-vous remarquer du public de la vieille Europe ? Ligue des champions de football ? Non, vous êtes nuls. Vous étiez les premiers à élire une femme présidente, tout le monde l'a oublié. Il n'y a plus qu'une seule solution, l'Eurovision. Ok, c'est un peu la honte, Gulla et sa copine le savent très bien, mais parfois, il faut bien déconner.
So are you ready for this evening?
Yes, I'm very ready.
Eurovision, super fun. Nobody is like seriously fan of Eurovision. It's more like an excuse to go out and have a drink. And
it's like the National Day of Iceland. It's a bit the similar feeling, people, you definitely know that people are going downtown and just going to party.
Iceland only started participating in Eurovision in '86 or something. And then they also thought they were going to win. I heard Jónsson from Sigur Rós, he already had made a Eurovision song. He wanted Páll Óskar to do. Páll Óskar, he was like the first sort of kind of obviously gay guy in Eurovision. Atli, við ætlum að skjótast það. Já. Bye.
Þetta er bless.
Sömuleiðis.
Heyrðu, jæja.
Svona að viti hver maður er að fara inn.
Ég ekki bara koma á það.
Takk. Well, Iceland never wins the Eurovision Song Contest. We can get the second place.
Yes, we got the second place.
But we'll never win, I think. Always there's some fraud that makes that, like this sort of Eastern European mafia that makes that Iceland doesn't win.
It's time to go. I'll see you soon.
Finalist number 10 is
À Reykjavik, tout est prétexte à boire des coups, même une finale d'Eurovision. Bon, là, c'est pas évident. Et quand l'été arrive, qu'il fait beau et que le soleil ne se couche plus, les bars sont pleins. Ça boit, ça festoie, ça roucoule.
Chicks, here we meet chicks, you know.
Et tout le monde se plie à la tradition du samedi soir, le rundur, sorte de parade festive et bruyante en voiture. L'été à Reykjavik, il y a moyen de scorer et pas des guignols, des vrais musiciens.
Everybody go down, like to the clubs or the bars or whatever at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the night. I stay there until 5 and it closes, and then you, in most cases, go to an after party, and then you are staying there to 8 o'clock, or you maybe, and then you maybe go to another after party.
Reykjavik City, big pimpin' all the time like AC/DC. Don't fuck with that Jesus man.
I don't know, 5:13 right now, but then we go and have another beer.
Les étiquettes, c'est pas bien, mais Ari, il a quand même un petit côté bobo-punk. Il n'est pas de ces bénis oui-oui qui vous chanteront les louanges de Reykjavik, ni même du pays, parce que sorti du centre-ville, c'est vraiment un trou à rats. Il ne sortira pas non plus la rengaine du « c'était mieux avant » quand la planète ne se réchauffait pas encore et que le bise n'avait pas contaminé tout le culturel, parce qu'avant, les bars, il y en avait quasiment pas. Et aujourd'hui, qu'il y en ait, c'est quand même pas mal. Non, finalement, entre Ari et l'Islande, c'est un peu je t'aime, moi non plus.
I grew up in the suburbs, Breiðholt. I hated that place. It takes you about 35 minutes to go from there to here, and I did it like twice a day for years, and I haven't been back there. There's nothing to do. It's like all these small places, and you know, people hang around at the gas station or whatever, and they hate lattes. I mean, what kind of life is that? It's like, get some love into your life. Lattes are fine, damn it. I might as well leave Iceland if I leave downtown Reykjavik. I really don't like any other part of it. Here it's like an audience for a you know, so-so band like my band is really small. You know, if we play every month, we'd have to like write a new set every couple of months, which is like I can't do that. So that means we have to play like maybe, you know, 3 times a year, which is kind of boring, but there you go.
Today, just play a gig at the Dead Gallery. It's like we do it every now and then. We enjoy playing there.
Nonni! This is Nonni, sometimes called Nonni Dead. He
runs this place. It's called the Dead Gallery now. It used to be called the Dead Shop, and then it was called Nannabúð. Yeah, so he makes artwork and clothes and music.
Music, art.
How's the record coming?
Good.
Is it ready?
Almost.
Yeah, he's in a band called the Dead Skeletons. They're making a record. Everybody's making a record, except me. Damn it.
I don't care a shit about Icelandic art, you know. I just make art. We met in first probably in what was it, 92 or? He was in a band called Red Plus, and I was their manager.
He was a great manager. He was like, we always got beer, which is like a rare and still is in Iceland. So.
And we also money.
Yeah, money even too. What happened?
But I remember one a very nice story about Ari.
God.
We were playing here in a place called Two Friends and One on a Vacation. It was like a concert venue. And it amazed me how Ari could play well, even dead drunk on stage. You know, so he was like kind of almost dead drunk, you know. But so the guys just put them up against the wall, and he was like, but playing perfectly. So that was very nice.
It's true. I used to specialize in that. Yeah. Not so much anymore.
I hope I haven't destroyed it. Magic paint.
Loin de l'ARPA, loin du garage à maman, loin des parcs et loin de l'Eurovision, il y a l'Underground Underground, où on gonfle des ballons en se pintant au whisky. Ari vient jouer ici de temps en temps, pas besoin de faire des coups ou de racoler 2 ans à l'avance, ici, on n'est pas payé, mais on peut s'y produire facilement. C'est pas le Pérou, mais c'est l'Islande.
Who doesn't like balloons? Or it's a metaphor for, you know, the economic bust. Málfarinn.
From the street, so you know I had to look by. You get closer to the music, you get closer to the people, you get closer to the feeling, you know, that they give away when they play, and that's just great.
Right now we are in east of Iceland and we are going to a small festival called Hammond Festival. It's in a small town, Djúpivogur. Like this festival is weird. Who is gonna put up a Hammond Festival in a really, really small town, 7 hours drive from Reykjavík? Like that's insane.
It's very fun to travel with the band always. We have drinking water, like Icelandic drinking water. We have a really beautiful country to travel in, and it's you never know what's gonna happen. It's always like you're just being reborn a bit.
Þín ekki bróðir þótt bliki á hvaðni tár því tárið sem titrar á vanga það talar þeirra mál.
La province islandaise, avec ses allures de Twin Peaks, vibre elle aussi de tout son petit corps pour la musique. Le festival Avec Kiddi, par exemple, est une anomalie tout à fait normale en Islande. Même la presse musicale internationale vous parlera de ces manifestations où un patelin de 200 âmes se réunissent comme un seul homme autour d'une scène pour voir des gugus jouer d'un instrument bizarre. Et si même les chroniqueurs de Pitchfork vous en parlent, c'est que le truc, il est pas banal.
This festival is dedicated to the Hammond organ. We make 4 days of concert and music, and in every act we have a Hammond organ. Siki is one fabulous Hammond player. His Hammond is a M instrument, and he bought it through the internet for, I think, $500 or so.
They have a stage, they have everything. My organ is here, that's good.
This is Bakkalútur. That started out as a website. That's also a joke that got too far. This is a huge band for Icelandic market. So this band has sold more albums than Hjálmar and than all my other bands. The good thing about doing Bakkalútur music is like, this is a joke and you can do whatever. People will say, oh, this is not cool, or come on, it's a joke. It's nice for a musician, it's always nice to like go into some kind of period, or you cannot do that if you're like doing Hjálmar or some more serious music. I have so many bands, and I'm not really the music guy in all the bands. I'm more like a managing type of guy. So like, if it's like a long time between every gig, I always forget some of the songs. Like, so, and when I see the set list, fuck this song.
Sans bateau, sans avion, sans chevaux, sans danois, sans internet, sans mobilette, tous ces groupes n'auraient jamais joué de reggae, de punk, de folk ou de disco, mais du langspiel. On l'a échappé belle.
This is a traditional kind of langspiel with 3 strings. This was an instrument of the angels. Most of the musicians you see here, both in the classical scene, in the lighter music, or what we call it, pop music, or rock music, or whatever, are educated in music. They're people that have gone through musical education. I think the Icelandic music scene is really blossoming at the moment.